So here are the reasons. If I'm going to make a case for this, we're going to have reasons, right? And we're going to have to go through a plethora of reasons. In every case, I'm going to try to sort of lay out the pros and cons and say, okay, it looks like you might want to consider doing things this way. First of all, you want to have separation of concerns. So what I mean by separation of concerns here is the following. You are sending code to run on people's computers. But if you're sending code that's intermixed with HTML and other things, you're sort of, you could separate that out. And of course, people have been talking about JSX and other ways to separate HTML and JavaScript. But what I'm mentioning in this particular module is essentially, what if the code didn't always have to come to your client in one way, which is you go to a server, the server sends a bunch of HTML, and then as part of that, it also sends you the code. First of all, if you separate those two things, you get a lot of benefits, including security, which I'll talk about in the next module. But side loading is a different way to get the code onto your computer. You can get it as a bundle from the App Store. So Cordova is a project that takes your web resources, bundles them up, and then you can use the Apple Store, the App Store, and the Google Play Store to essentially download those things onto your computer. This is a different paradigm because all your resources are now on your computer. And we're going to that bundle paradigm where you could just load a file and it is right there. Everything is offline first and is able to work without any servers on the internet, which is also nice when I get to the social impact of these things, when people can actually use their apps without having to have a fast broadband connection or a connection to another country where the servers might be located. They could actually choose their servers to be located locally and maybe run software there. So if everything is static files, then obviously we don't need any very fancy backends like Facebook has or Twitter has. And it may actually be that people can host kind of almost their own software, similar to how you have Ethereum wallets or Bitcoin wallets, which are self-hosted. And so you got this whole trend now of self-hosting things. You also now have these companies like Google and Apple, these makers of app stores, create snippets. It's kind of like replicating the web a little bit. So on Google Play Store, they call it Play Instant Apps. And on the App Store, Apple's, they call it app clips. And essentially what it is you discover something in the wild, maybe a QR code or Apple's proprietary thing here that looks like a different kind of code, which is kind of cool, like a fingerprint. Anyway, you scan that with an Apple device or with the Google device, and suddenly a bunch of code is downloaded in a sandbox and you can run it. And then if you like the app, you can get the whole app. So again, the idea is that if all your stuff already bundled on your phone or on your device, then it's essentially something that can work offline and pull in resources and cache them as needed. You can also trust that code, which is what I'm going to talk about next. I should also mention that the web has now service workers, which essentially do the same thing as long as you visit the website.